this morning, sun's a bit hazy. Checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling you see, prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities, we're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's do this thing, guys. Let's kick this can and make it happen. Let's do it right now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be in this world of ours. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. My name's Ron Tyler. Welcome to our show tonight. We're going to be celebrating America's birthday tomorrow. And yes, I get a little bit choked up about this very same thing because I'm very, one, patriotic, and number two, I'm very partial to the United States of America. I'm partial to all the countries around the world, but especially my home country where I was born. For that reason alone, I'm going to pay tribute to this country right now. I'm going to put up a picture here. Then I'm going to pay tribute to this country right now. And again, tomorrow we're going to have another broadcast commemorating July 4th, which is actually Sunday. And Sunday afternoon we'll also come on the air with another broadcast talking about July 4th. I promise you that, guys. We're going to have another broadcast tomorrow. Guys, it's a beautiful thing. It's a very beautiful thing. I've done a lot of praying about it. I've anguished over this a little bit. And I'm going to show you this, guys. We're going to show you this. Give me just a second here. This did not happen like I wanted it to. Hold on just a second. There's the picture I want to show you. I'm going to take up this whole screen, and then we're going to be talking about earthquakes around the world and earthquakes in the Cascadia region. That's where we're going with this. So guys, stay tuned, guys. It's going to be a great night. I promise you it's going to be a great night here. Give me just a second here. I thought I had this all geared up, and all of a sudden it disappeared. Give me just a second, guys. I wouldn't do this, but I think it's important for us today to do this tribute to this country. This is so crazy. I had this all set up, and all of a sudden it just disappears here. Just a second here. Hold on a second. I've got it.
Unique style of marching. One of John Philip Sousa's best-known marches, the Stars and Stripes Forever.
United States Marine Corps, Trumpet Band Corps, with the Stars and Stripes forever. We're 2 days away from celebrating the 250th birthday of the United States of America. Happy birthday, America. We're here with you. Always will be. Always have been. Tonight, guys, we're going to be talking about earthquakes around the world. Just about a minute. We're also going to be talking about earthquakes in the Pacific Northwest. I'm specifically going to be talking about this topic because we just had a 3.8 earthquake in Oak Harbor, Washington last night, 11:30 last night. We're going to be talking extensively about that because we're going to have large earthquakes very soon. Let's get into this, guys. Let's talk about this, okay? First off, let's go to the USGS map. This is not the greatest map in the world at all, not in the least little bit. I'm going to take down our EMA banner here. I'm going to take down webcam for the time being. Watch this, guys. Watch what we're doing here. Please stay with us and pay close attention. You're going to want to see this. I promise you, you're going to want to see this program tonight. Okay? First off, I'm going to start out here in the Southern Pacific Ocean. That's where all earthquakes originate, is down here in the Southern Pacific Ocean. Over here in the Fiji region, this is a 4.7 moderate earthquake here. A 4.7 moderate earthquake. This is also a deep earthquake. 558 kilometers deep. 558 kilometers deep, guys. That's a deep earthquake. Now, that said, I want to take down this map. I'm going to show you the depth to magnitude conversion chart that we have here. Right here. This is the depth to magnitude conversion chart. 558 kilometers deep. We're going to go over here to the third column from the left. Third column from the left. We're going to start over here, 553 kilometers deep. We're going to use 555 here. We're going to add a 1.1 to the magnitude of this quake. We're going to add a 1.1 to the magnitude of this quake. Okay? This quake we just told you about is a deep quake. Deep quakes propagate or birth larger shell earthquakes. So we're going to add a 1.1 to the depth of this earthquake, which means this is a 4.7 earthquake. This means the large earthquake is going to be a 5.8 to 5.9 earthquake in the next 3 to 10 days. In the next 3 to 10 days, guys, a 5.8 to a 5.9 earthquake is going to strike in this region here, or it could go all the way over to the east here, to South America, to Chile or Argentina, or it can go all the way down here into New Zealand here, or go over here in the Tonga region here, or even over here in the Samoa. It could happen. Or that energy could go over here to the southwest here, to the Legacy Islands of New Caledonia. Or it could go over here to Vanuatu as well. Or it could go further west over here to the Solomon Islands here. Or even over here further to the west, over here to Papua New Guinea. These deep earthquakes propagate larger shell earthquakes, and we're going to see that in the next 3 to 10 days. Next 3 to 10 days, guys. That was a 4.7 earthquake. Remember the number 4.7 here. This is strategic with our program tonight. Let's go over here to Indonesia. 62 earthquakes happen here in Indonesia. USGS is showing us one earthquake. One lousy earthquake in northern Indonesia right here. This is a 4.5 earthquake here. 4.5 earthquake, 88 kilometers west-southwest of Gorontalo, Indonesia. Okay? Again, there are 62 earthquakes here in Indonesia today. USGS is not showing even half of those. Not even close to it. They're only showing one earthquake here. Going over here into the Philippines, okay? There are 12 earthquakes here. The USGS is only showing one of those earthquakes over here, right here. Now, guys, this is the exact location where we had a major earthquake here just 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago. This is the 4.3 earthquake here off the coast of the Philippines. Guys, they are still pulling people out of the rubble here in the Philippines. Still today, still pulling people out of the rubble here in the Philippines. Okay? Now, I want to, for a brief moment, talk about what happened the other day. The other day in South America, over here in Venezuela here. Here near the coastline of Venezuela around Caracas, and further to the southwest here near Papillon. Again, we had a major earthquake here. Started off with a 7.2 earthquake, then it spread further to the east here, and it ended up near Caracas, Venezuela, with a 7.7 earthquake. 7.7 earthquake. But as I showed you immediately after the earthquake, I showed you documentation. I believe this earthquake was at least an 8.4 earthquake. At least an 8.4 earthquake. They're still pulling people alive out of this earthquake sequence here in Venezuela. They have pulled babies and they pulled adults out of the rubble here. They're still alive. Now, as days go into a week now, we're going to see fewer and fewer people coming out alive here. People are buried alive here. Already, the death toll here in Venezuela is nearing 3,000 people. Nearing 3,000 people. Very, very sad. Very, very sad, guys. I hate to even say that. I hate to say that. We're nearing 3,000 people dead here in Venezuela. And nearly 4,000 people have been injured here in Venezuela. Okay? Sad. Very, very sad. Yesterday we neared 2,400 people pass away. Yesterday we were near 2,400 people pass away. Now we're closing in on 3,000 deaths in Venezuela. And over 4,000 people that were injured here in this earthquake. Sad day. Sad day. We have rescuers and recovery people from all over the world stationed here in Venezuela. We have humanitarian efforts coming from the Red Cross, the Samaritan's Purse, and Samaritan's Purse has even arrived here in Caracas and set up a hospital here. A tent hospital here. Why have they done that? Why do you think they've done that, guys? Why do you think they've set up a tent hospital here in Venezuela? The simple answer is this. They're trying to save lives there. They're trying to save lives here in Venezuela. Hold on a second. Now, guys, yesterday I was going to show you this, but I ran out of time. I want to show you this today. This, again, is very important. Very important. I'm going to take down the USGS map here. I'm going to put up our webcam again here for a few minutes. And I'm going to show you the video that Samaritan's Purse sent me yesterday talking about what happened here.
All Venezuelans are suffering. All of us.
In Venezuela, there is nothing. Nothing to eat, no medicine, absolutely nothing.
Thousands of Venezuelans are crossing the border every single day to reach different destinations, whether it is here in Colombia or to other countries like Chile, Ecuador, and Peru. We are providing them with shelter, food, and medical care.
I've been walking for 10 days, fighting for my wife and 2 kids. I've got to keep fighting, so my family doesn't suffer. I'm in a lot of pain. My feet are swollen. It's hard to walk. There's never an easy day. It's so hard and intense because we have to sleep on the streets. If it weren't for you, who knows what would have happened to us.
I have nothing in my house. No food, no nothing. At one point, I sold my refrigerator to buy something to eat. I've had to sell a lot of things to feed my son so he can survive. Too many people are dying, killing themselves. In many ways, they're seeking death. I've thought of it myself, and I ask God to forgive me every day because I have to put my son first. You have been a great blessing. So great that I can assure you, in Venezuela, no one, nobody has helped in this way.
There is no medicine in Venezuela. The hospitals are closed. There are a lot of children who've died. I came across the border with my 2 little girls because my youngest daughter has been very sick with a high fever. And they gave us medicine. I think Samaritan's Purse is so nice. They do a great job. Thank you for everything.
I hope that you keep helping us, because I'm not the only one walking. There are thousands and thousands of us.
Samaritan's Purse has been setting up 10 hospitals in Venezuela to treat the sick and injured in Venezuela. Very sad. They've brought doctors from all over the world and the United States as well to help the Venezuelan people. The United States and other governments around the world have also sent rescuers and recovery people to help recover the nation of Venezuela. Now, someone asked me yesterday about the oil fields, not our oil fields, the oil fields in Venezuela. Yes, they were damaged, but not beyond recoverable. The Venezuelan oil fields are alive and are going to be well again. Okay, they are recoverable. Yes, they had some damage, but they're not beyond hope. They're not beyond hope at all. Be prepared, guys. Be prepared. That's all I can say. Be prepared. This could happen again to you, to me, and anyone else around the world. A very sad day here. Very sad day in Venezuela. Again, thousands of people have been unalived. Many thousands of people, nearly 4,000 people have been injured, and that number is climbing every day. There have been areas around Venezuela that have not been got to yet. They haven't been reached by any rescuers at all because they're far enough away in areas that are not accessible to most people here in Venezuela. Now rescuers are starting to get to those areas. We may find more people that have been missing here. They're saying there's over 75,000 people missing here in Venezuela, and more are going to be recovered. More are going to be recovered on a daily basis. Okay? As long as this stretches into more days and weeks in the near future, we're going to continue talking about Venezuela. We cannot just let them go. We're not going to do that. Not now, not ever. That's not the way we work here in this country. That's not the way we work here on Emergency Management Associates. Okay? Now, again, I urge you not to forget about the 4.7 earthquakes here. Okay? We started right here in Fiji here with the 4.7 earthquake. Okay? We've gone over here to the Philippines here with a 4.3 earthquake here. Let's go north here. Here, off the coast of Luzon, Philippines here. Luzon, Philippines is the northernmost island of the Philippines here. That's where Manila, Philippines, the capital of the Philippines is. Off the coast, Luzon, Philippines, we have another 4.7 earthquake. Another 4.7 earthquake. We're not done with 4.7 earthquakes. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Going over here to off the coast of Taiwan. Off the coast of Taiwan. This is another 4.7 earthquake here, guys. This is in the island region south of Japan. This earthquake is told to be in Japan because it's in the southern region of Japan here. All these islands here that you see here belong to Japan. This is also a 4.7 earthquake. Another 4.7 earthquake here. We're not done. Let's go north over here to the mountainous regions of western Japan. The mountainous region west of Japan here. Here's another 4.7 earthquake here. As we've been discussing 4.0 to 4.9 earthquakes, we've told you that those are moderate earthquakes. Moderate earthquakes. For the past year, over a year now, USGS last year, about May, actually before that, about March of last year, started classifying 4.0, 4.9 earthquakes as light earthquakes. Light earthquakes. I'm going to tell you this. There is no such thing as a light earthquake. I don't give a flying rat's frosty keister what USGS wants to call them. A 3.0, 3.9 is considered to still be a small earthquake according to USBS. Calling these light earthquakes is nothing. That means these are smaller than the small earthquakes. They're not. 4.0, 4.9 earthquakes can cause moderate damage. Moderate damage. That's why I'm going to still classify these as moderate earthquakes. Moderate earthquakes. This is a 4.7 moderate earthquake here in Japan. It happened here in the western mountainous region of Honshu, Japan. There are towns up here to the north and west. There are towns all over here to the north and east here as well, and down to the south. 4.7 earthquake in this region. The bedrock here echoes that seismic energy throughout a wide region. Throughout a wide region here. Okay? Meaning the seismic energy from this 4.7 earthquake has probably been felt far down here to the south. Far down here to the south right here. This is a very populated area here. You see a lot of towns here. A lot of towns. Now, guys, this earthquake is far enough away from the populated areas of the East Coast. I don't think the populated areas of the East Coast even felt here in Japan. Don't think they felt it, but up in the mountainous regions of Japan, they felt that 4.7 earthquake. Let's go north here. Let's continue going north here. Over here to Kamchatka Peninsula, we don't see any other earthquakes. For the first time in quite some time, there are no earthquakes here in the Kamchatka Peninsula area. We've had a lot of earthquakes here in the past. Yes, USGS still doesn't want to show us earthquakes here. That's normal. That's normal for USPS. Over here in the Aleutian Islands here, Central Aleutian Islands region, this is a 3.5 small earthquake here. In the Aleutian Islands region, was not even felt by anybody on land. These earthquakes are far enough away from any landmass, nobody felt this small earthquake here. The earthquake energy here was absorbed by the ocean waters here of the Pacific Ocean. Okay? Yes, there are other earthquakes here. They are tremors right here. This is a 1.8 tremor here. This is a 1.4 tremor here. This is a 1.1 tremor here. And this is a 1.5. Tremors, guys, tremors are not felt. Tremors are very small earthquake seismic movements. Over here to the north of those are out in the ocean here. Over here, this is over on the west side of the volcano here. There's a volcano sitting under that ice. This is a 0.91.0 tremor here. The 0.9 microquake 1.0 tremor here in the Aleutian Island region. Let's continue over here. Continue east over here. Okay? The next earthquake the USGS is telling us about is right here. Nikolsky, Alaska. 63 kilometers west-southwest of Nikolsky, Alaska. Right up here. Nikolsky, Alaska. Now, let's go further to the east here. They're still not showing us any earthquakes here in the Alaska Peninsula here until we get up further here to the north. Right here, again in the open ocean of the Aleutian Island chain here. This is a 2.7 minor earthquake. Nobody felt it. Minor earthquakes cannot be felt. Going up here onto the peninsula of Alaska here. This is a 1.4 tremor, still not felt. This is also 1.2 tremor here. Okay? 1.2 tremor here. Near Ivanhoe Bay, Alaska. Right next to another volcano here. Literally right next to seismic energy and volcanoes here. Magma here in this region. Magma here in this region. Let's go north here. Okay? Right here. Near Ugashik, Alaska. 1.77 tremor here. Out here, still in the Pacific Ocean here, 1.5 tremor here, south of Kodiak, Alaska. South of Kodiak, Alaska. Right here, off the northwest side of Kodiak, Alaska, Kodiak Island. This is a 2.0 minor earthquake. 2.0 minor earthquake. Still small enough nobody felt it on land at all. Going out here into the ocean again. This is at the entrance of the Cook Inlet. The Cook Inlet here. The waterway between here and Anchorage, Alaska is called the Cook Inlet. This is a 1.1 tremor here near Karluk, Alaska. Karluk, Alaska. K-A-R-L-U-K, Alaska. Let's go up and visit this volcano here. Okay? Guys, this is a very, very small volcano comparatively. Old Ililama volcano here. Old Iliamna volcano here. Guys, this is a 0.5 microquake. This is a 0.7 microquake. Usually we have more earthquakes around Old Iliamna volcano, but not today. These are microquakes. These are microquakes caused by the magma around Old Iliamna volcano. Let's go north here. Okay. Now it's getting more serious here. Right here. Okay. Right here. 0.9 microquake here. 0.9 microquake right there. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Let's go north here. Again, over here in the Cook Inlet here. This is a 1.0 tremor here. Again, nobody felt it. 1.0 tremor here in the inlet. This is also in the inlet here. 1.4 tremor here. 1.6 tremor here. 1.1 tremor here. 1.6 tremor here. Right up here as things start to change. Mount Redoubt volcano. Mount Redoubt volcano here. This is what the USGS is saying is a minus 0.8 microquake. They say it's above sea level here. Guess what? It's not. This is 3/4 of a mile deep inside Mount Redoubt volcano. This is a microquake, but it's deep inside the volcano here. Nearly a mile deep inside the volcano here. This is a 1.0 tremor here. Also, USGS is putting this as above sea level, but it's not. This is a 1/4 of a mile deep inside Mount Redoubt volcano. This is at minus 0.1, supposedly by USGS, but this is also, guys, deep inside the volcano here, down inside the magma chamber of Mount Redoubt volcano. This is 14 miles deep. 14 miles deep here. 1.0 tremor here. 1.0 tremor here. Okay, now let's go across this inlet here. This is a 1.6 tremor here, northwest of Nanolek, Alaska. Nanolek, Alaska. Let's go over here. This is a 2.8 minor earthquake. 2.8 minor earthquake, 25 kilometers southeast of Halibut Cove, Alaska. Halibut Cove, Alaska. Okay, not a big deal. Minor earthquakes cannot be felt. We go further north here. This time right here. 2.0 minor earthquake near Neelitchik, Alaska. Neelitchik, Alaska. Okay? Out here to the lake here. Okay? We've had many earthquakes here before. This is a 1.7 tremor here. Not a big deal, just a tremor. Just a tremor. Let's go north here. 2.0 earthquake here, 14 kilometers, 7 miles northwest of Nikiski, Alaska. 7 miles northwest of Nikiski, Alaska here. Not a big deal either. Go up here to Anchorage, Alaska. There are no earthquakes here in Anchorage, Alaska at all. Nowhere near Anchorage, Alaska at all. Okay? We go north across the Cook Inlet here. In this case, right here, 1.7 tremor near Willow, Alaska. 4 miles west of Willow, Alaska. 1.7 tremor here. Go over here to the west. At 1.8 tremor here. Then we go north, just south of the big ice sheet here. The big ice sheet here. Okay? We've seen earthquakes here before. USGS is saying this is 1.0 tremor here. 2 kilometers, 1 mile west-northwest of Petersville, Alaska. We go up here further north here. Guess what? We're now in Denali, Alaska. Denali National Park, Alaska. This is a 1.6 tremor, but USGS is saying this is 35 kilometers north of Petersville, Alaska. Again, this is just their attempt to falsify the location where this earthquake is. They don't want to say that this is in Denali National Park. They want to locate it as north of Petersville, Alaska. They're not wanting to say it's in Denali National Park at all. Sad, but USGS does this all the time. Doesn't surprise me at all. We go further to the northwest here, okay? This is a 2.6 earthquake here. This is just a little bit different than we've seen here just a few minutes ago. 2.6 minor earthquake here. This is 116 kilometers deep. 116 kilometers deep. Guys, this is about 58 miles deep, north of Denali, Alaska. USGS is saying this is west-southwest of Denali. West-southwest of Denali. It's not southwest of Denali, guys. It's northwest of Denali. Northwest of Denali. There's no such thing as southwest of Denali. It would be southeast of Denali down here. This is northwest of Denali National Park. Okay? Then we have earthquakes further up here to the north right here. Okay? East of Fairbanks, Alaska here, we have a 1.0 tremor here. North of Fairbanks, Alaska here, we have a 1.1 tremor here. Interesting. Southwest of Fairbanks here, we have a 1.2 tremor here. We go up here north of Fairbanks, north and west of Fairbanks here. We have 2 seismic events here. This is 0.8 microquake here. This is a 0.9 1.0 tremor here. East-northeast of Livengood, Alaska. Yes, folks, there's a town called Livengood, Alaska. Livengood, Alaska. Livengood, Alaska here. 1.0 tremor here and a microquake. Now, guys, I'm zooming out here. I showed you most of the earthquakes here in Alaska today. There are no earthquakes north of central Alaska. There are no earthquakes north of central Alaska, and there are absolutely no earthquakes here in the Arctic Circle. This area, see here, brown and gray area here, this is part of the Arctic Circle here. There are no earthquakes here near the Arctic Circle at all. None. None up here at the northern shore of Alaska either, where the oil producing places here in Alaska. Nothing here on the north shore of Alaska. Let's go south here. Now I'm going to talk about the Pacific Northwest here. The rest of our programs are going to be talking about the Pacific Northwest and what we have here. Okay? In the past, when I've talked about the Pacific Northwest, I've talked about earthquakes here in Washington and Oregon. Washington and Oregon. Look here, guys. There are no earthquakes whatsoever that USGS says are here in Oregon at all. USGS seems to forget that there are earthquakes here at all. There are earthquakes here. And yes, I'm going to show you two different places here in Oregon where there are earthquakes. And I'm going to show those to you for a reason. Okay? First off, I want to go over here to Washington State. Washington State. Southwest of Mount St. Helens. Right here. Coloma, Washington. Coloma, Washington. Every time you see a yield sign here on a USGS map, it's either an explosion or a quarry blast here. Doesn't matter where it's at, it's either a quarry blast or an explosion here on a USGS map. Let's zoom in here, guys. Let's show you this. USGS says this is a 1.6 tremor here. 1.6 explosion here. 2 miles north-northeast of Coloma, Washington. Guys, it appears to me this is in a wooded area. A wooded area, nowhere near a quarry. Nowhere near a quarry at all. Wooded area, guys. Let me bring up my other map on my other device here. You're going to want to see this. I hate like heck to show you what is going on here because I don't like defaming USGS, but they're not giving me a choice here. They're not giving us a choice here. What I'm going to show you now is the EMSC European map here. The EMSC European map here. Look at this, guys. This is a tremor here, 2 miles north-northeast of Coloma, Washington. This is a tremor here in a forested area. A forested area, guys. Not near a quarry, not even an explosion here. Not even an explosion. Now, I tend to make fun of USGS quite frequently. I do it for a reason. I do it for a reason. Because they mislabel earthquakes all the time. Say it was an explosion. Say it was an explosion out here. A spontaneous combustion carnivorous, an exploding tree here. An exploding tree here in Washington State. 2 miles north-northeast of Coloma, Washington. Okay, maybe a marmot. Maybe a marmot set off this explosion. Guys, I did my research earlier today. There was no explosion here in Coloma or near Coloma, Washington at all. This is a tremor here. What I'm showing you now is a tremor here. North-northeast of Coloma, Washington. No explosion at all. Not in the least little bit. Okay? When I see this kind of stuff, guys, I cringe. I cringe. This is just one more reason I can't handle what USGS says. They don't tell us the truth. Rarely do they ever tell us the truth here. Now let's go over here to Mount St. Helens. Mount St. Helens, guys. Over here at the summit of Mount St. Helens, not on the rim, down here inside the volcano here. This is a supposed minus 0.3 microquake here. Minus 0.3 microquake. Almost 2 miles down inside the volcano. Not above sea level at all. Minus numbers USGS uses to show it above sea level. This is not above sea level. It's nearly 2 miles deep inside the Mount St. Helens magma chamber here. 0.3 microquake down here inside Mount St. Helens. Now, guys, I've researched all these volcanoes all over Washington, Oregon, California, and around the world. Around the world. Guys, when I show you this, I dare say there are probably 100 or more microquakes at Mount St. Helens. There are hundreds of minor earthquakes as well. Hundreds of them. Hundreds of tremors, 1.0, 1.9 tremors. Possibly hundreds of minor earthquakes as well, 2.0 to 2.9 minor earthquakes. And yes, occasionally we will see a 3.0 earthquake here at Mount St. Helens. It's happened before. Now, for a reason, I did not show any earthquakes at all here. I didn't investigate here at Mount St. Helens, Mount Hood, Mount Rainier, Glacier Peak, or even further north at Mount Baker. Why didn't I do that? Because I want to show you earthquakes happening here in Washington, Oregon, because USGS continues to not show it. They continue not showing it. They're showing us one microquake here, south of Mount Rainier. In the foothills here, south of Mount Rainier. This is a 0.6 microquake in the foothills of Mount Rainier. Again, Mount Rainier and Mount St. Helens have hundreds of microquakes. They have hundreds of tremors. They have dozens and dozens of minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. And yes, they have a lot of 3.0 earthquakes here as well. These are major volcanoes. Mount Rainier is the largest volcano in the United States. For USGS not to show what's going on here at Mount Rainier is despicable. Despicable. To show just a minor tremor here or microquake here is despicable. They have hundreds of microquakes. They have hundreds of tremors here. Dozens and dozens of minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. They have also small earthquakes here as well. Mount Rainier has also had a 4.5 earthquake in the last year. A moderate 4.5 earthquake here in the last year. We talked about it when it happened. But again, USBS would have us believe nothing happens here. Going over here to the northwest, inside the Puget Sound region. Inside the Puget Sound region here in the Olympic Peninsula. This is a 0.7 microquake near Allen, Washington, Allyn, Washington. 0.7 microquake. Unreal. Unreal. Now I'm going up here into the Puget Sound region here for a reason. For a reason. Right here. Oak Harbor, Washington. Oak Harbor, Washington. This is a 2.0 aftershock. 2.0 aftershock from this earthquake right here. This is a 3.8 small earthquake. 3.8 small earthquake here near Oak Harbor, Washington, just south of Oak Harbor, Washington here last night, 11:30 p.m. last night. 2.0 aftershock, 2.3 aftershock, 1.4 aftershock, 1.2 aftershock, another 2.4 minor earthquake here. Aftershocks, that's 3.8. Okay, unreal. Uncut, picking real. Guess what? Guess what? These earthquakes are felt over a large region. They're felt over a large region. Let's talk about this, guys. Let's talk about this. They're felt over a huge, large region here. I'm going to get rid of the USGS map here. I want to specifically talk about, excuse me, I want to specifically talk about earthquakes in Washington State here. Earthquakes near Oak Harbor, Washington right here. Okay? The northern Puget Sound region. The northern Puget Sound region. Guys, these earthquakes are felt over a large area. Look at this area. That was a 3.8 small earthquake. Felt over 100 miles away. Felt over 100 miles away. Down in the southern Puget Sound region. That's huge. That's huge. That 3.8 earthquake that you see here labeled in by that star here on your map was felt all the way up here into Canada. All the way up here into Canada. This is a small earthquake, guys. A very small earthquake. 3.8, very small earthquake. Felt all the way up into Canada. Why? Because of the bedrock here. The bedrock in this area allowed the seismic waves to be felt all the way up into Canada. Further south here, 100 miles away, down here in the southern Puget Sound region. Even further west over here near the Juan de Fuca Strait here, or what they call the Strait of Juan de Fuca coming off the Pacific Ocean. This body of water coming off the Pacific Ocean here is called the Strait of Juan de Fuca, going over here in the Puget Sound. Huge area, guys. A small 3.8 earthquake being felt over 100 miles away. That's almost insanity. That's almost insanity. Let me show you something else here I found to be interesting. Okay. I want to show you the moment tensor ball here. The moment tensor ball here. The seismic energy came out of the Pacific Northeast. Okay. Came out of Washington, possibly even Canada, from the northeast to the northwest. Northeast to northwest. Seismic energy came out of the northeast to northwest. Now, guys, this has everything to do with where this earthquake was felt. Coming out of the northeast to the northwest, or southwest, northeast to southwest here. This earthquake was felt all the way down here to the south, south of the southern Puget Sound region. That's a huge area, guys. A huge area. Okay? I want to show you this for a reason. It was a small earthquake, yes. Felt over a large region because of the bedrock. The bedrock here echoed the seismic waves throughout a large region. Small earthquake. Most of us would not even thought of small earthquake being felt that far away. Large earthquakes, yes. But this was a small 3.8 earthquake. Now, why are they even talking about this? The simple reason is this. Let's go over the coastline here. Ocean Shores, Washington. Ocean Shores, Washington, guys. Let's look at this. This is a seismograph, guys. This is a computer readout from the seismograph. From the seismograph that is recording earthquakes here in Ocean Shores, Washington. Look what we're showing you here. Look at all these tremors here. Look at all these tremors here. Also, you're seeing thicker and thinner lines here. The thicker lines are magma that's headed to the volcanoes. Magma that's headed to the volcanoes. The thinner lines indicate less magma. It's called magma pulse signals. Magma pulse signals. Look at the tremors it's picking up on the seismograph here. Look at all these tremors. That was last night. 8 o'clock on. Over on the left-hand side, about midway down the seismograph here, you see 000 hours. That's midnight. That's midnight, guys. What happens after about 8 o'clock at night? What usually happens at 8 o'clock, about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night? The seismologists go home and they turn down the seismograph. They turn down the seismograph. After midnight, we don't see much of anything. At 3:40 this morning, we see a thinner line and indicate a thicker line. A magma pulse signal here. Why is a seismograph recording this earthquake? Why is a seismograph recording this magma pulse signal here? Because the magma pulse signal was strong enough to overcome the turn down, the electronic turn down of the seismograph. That is an indicator of a large amount of magma coming in here through this magma channel headed for the volcanoes. Let's continue this. Okay. After about 8 o'clock, things calmed down because they turned down the seismograph. Then we come down here to 8 o'clock this morning. Suddenly there's more energy here. Suddenly we see an upturn in magma coming into the magma channel here, headed for the volcanoes here after 8 a.m. That in and of itself is a large amount of magma here. A magma pulse signal here, guys. There for another 40 minutes, not a lot actually another 30 minutes, not a lot happens. Then we come down here to 9 a.m. 9 a.m. We see magma flowing here, thicker line, but it's not that thick. It's a thicker line, but not that thick. Magma is coming through the magma channel here. Then we see very little happening. Then we see some tremors finally. We see some indications of tremors here. And even more magma throughout the morning, late morning, early afternoon here. And by 4 p.m. Pacific time, we see a good deal of magma headed through the magma channel here towards volcanoes here from Ocean Shores, Washington. Then something else happened here. Something else happened here. Okay? Sometime approximately 5:18 p.m. this evening. 5:18 p.m. this evening. What do we have here? This is a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. This is a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Prior to that 2.8, 2.9 earthquake, we see tremors building up, don't we? Tremors building up here. After that earthquake, we have more tremors here. More tremors here after the earthquake. Then things calm down again. Guys, why did we see a small increase in magma here? Magma caused this 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here. Magma caused that 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Then we had tremors after that. This is the coastline of northern Washington. Ocean Shores, Washington, guys. Ocean Shores, Washington. Now, guys, let's go south to Seaside, Oregon. Seaside, Oregon here. Look what we're seeing here. Look what we're seeing here, guys. Let me enlarge this so you can truly see what I'm talking about. This is Central Oregon and the coastline. Central Oregon coastline. Again, we're seeing magma here, headed for the volcanoes here, near the coastline of Oregon. Yes, we're having tremors here, lots and lots of tremors here. Some of these tremors are not magma activated though. Some of these tremors are not magma activated. These are actually seismic signals coming from the crust of the earth. Seismic signals coming from the crust. Okay? Earthquakes here. Earthquakes from the Cascadia region. The Cascadia seismic region. We've talked in the past about the Cascadia megathrust earthquake, haven't we? The 9.0, 10.0 earthquake that's going to hit here, possibly within the next 5 years. We're seeing earthquakes here, guys. We are seeing earthquakes. Not necessarily from magma, but this time, they are Cascadia-sized earthquakes. These are tremors and minor earthquakes here. Tremors and minor earthquakes. Now down here in Oregon, you're seeing the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network label that 3.8 earthquake here. Last night, 11:30 p.m. Then a 2.3 aftershock after that. Then a 2.0 aftershock after that. But you're all seeing some tremors here as well. You're seeing seismic tremors here along the coastline of Oregon. Coastline of Oregon. Guess what, guys? There's more than that. There's more than that. Let's look at Gerhardt, Oregon. Gerhardt, Oregon right here. This is a little bit more inland than Seaside, Oregon. Look at this. Look at this, guys. What are we seeing here? What are we seeing and why? Here we are seeing the stylus of the seismograph rock around. These are tremors and minor earthquakes that are hitting Seaside or Gerhardt, Oregon. Gerhardt, Oregon, guys. You're also, again, being told about the 3.8 earthquake up near Oak Harbor, Washington. And a 2.3 aftershock after that. But watch this, guys. Watch this. Look at all these seismic signals here. Back-to-back earthquakes. Back-to-back earthquakes. You hardly see any background from these earthquakes here on the seismogram. You hardly see any background except the seismic energy here. These earthquakes are hitting. Yes, earthquakes are hitting the Pacific Northwest. For a reason. For a very good reason. Now, when I came on this program, I show you the USGS map. The USGS map does not show any of this at all. None of it. None of it. They would have us believe nothing's happening. They would have us believe nothing's happening here. But guess what? They are wrong. They are so very, very wrong. Okay? I hate saying that. Back in the day when I was in college and back in high school, I revered the USGS. I looked up to them. I read my textbooks cover to cover. We learned about earthquakes. We learned about volcanic action. Not just here in the United States, not just in California, but literally all over the world. Learned about rock strata. Learned about what rocks were composed of. What rocks were different from others and why. I revered the USGS. I learned a lot from them, from those textbooks, from the USGS professors. I had a lot of great professors that used to work for the USGS. But the USGS is not telling us the truth any longer. The USGS has not been telling us the truth for a very long time. A long, long time. This, guys, is a tremor map. The tremor map coming out of the Pacific Northwest. The PNSN, the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network. Made by University of Washington. University of Washington oversees the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network. There are 470 earthquakes here. 470 epicenters here. 400 epicenters here. Look up here to the north. Washington, guys. Washington here. Look at all these earthquakes. They want to tell us about the 3.8 earthquake here. They want to tell us we have tremors here. Yes, we do. At no time yet has the USGS identified any of these tremors here. Haven't done it. They show us tremors over at Mount Rainier. They show us tremors at Mount St. Helens. Down in the southern Puget Sound region. Why do they not show them here? There are hundreds of them, guys. A total of 470 epicenters here. 470 earthquakes. Half of them up here in northwestern Washington. The around the Puget Sound region. Then we'll go down south here in southern Oregon and down here in northern California. Mount Shasta and down here, even over here into Mount Lassen region. Look at these earthquakes. Look at these earthquakes. Southern Oregon here, this is Medford, Oregon area. Medford, Oregon. These tremors stretch down here in northern California towards the volcanoes. Again, Mount Lassen and Mount Shasta, which are also part of the Cascade Mountain volcanic region. They're part of the Cascadia volcanic region. The Cascade Mountain Range. 470 epicenters. 470 epicenters here. That's a lot of earthquakes. Why is USGS not showing on their map? Because again, they don't want to admit what's going on here. They don't want to admit what's about to happen here in the Pacific Northwest. When the major earthquake happens here, the Cascadia earthquake happens here, or any other large earthquakes happen here, they want to say, oh, we didn't realize it was going to happen. We didn't know it was going to happen. But again, I told you before, off the Oregon coastline 2 years ago, USGS and the University of Oregon put 55 seismographs on the ocean floor here off the coast of Oregon. During the past year, I want to say even 7 months, USGS is, with the help of the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network here at Washington State University, they put another 51 seismographs on the ocean floor off the coast of Washington. Now we have over 100 seismographs on the ocean floor here. They are still not showing us seismic energy here off the coast of Oregon and Washington. I'm asking the question, why not? Why are they not showing us this energy? Why are they not being honest with us about what's going on here in Oregon and Washington? That 3.8 earthquake in northern Washington, near north and west of Oak Harbor, happened as a result of earthquakes in the Cascadia region, linked to the Cascadia earthquake that's going to happen. That 3.8 small earthquake is linked to the Cascadia earthquake that's going to happen. Earthquakes in the Pacific Northwest states of Washington and Oregon result from slip-on faults. Slip-on faults, guys. Slip-on faults. Faults are held together with friction. Faults and plates are held together with friction. When we have events out in space, such as planetary alignments, 3 or more planets align in space, they cause electromagnetic radiation to be sent to Earth, sent here to the crust of the Earth. When that electromagnetic radiation hits the Earth's surface, it causes the plates and the fault to heat up. All the gunk and grime, all the sand, all the dirt, all the rock, All the biological material that's there holding the plates and the faults in place turns into an oily, greasy-like substance that allows the faults in the plates to more freely move like this, causing earthquakes. These earthquakes happen every day in the Cascadia region. For the USGS not to show earthquakes here is a travesty. They're denying it happened. When they don't show us earthquakes in the Cascadia region or even all over Washington and Oregon, when the earthquakes happen there, we can pull up seismic evidence from the seismographs. Earthquakes happen, but they don't want to tell us about it. Earthquakes that happen here in the Pacific Northwest, Oregon and Washington, happen around as a result of seismic energy slip caused by either electromagnetic radiation coming from space from planetary alignments, or as I spoke of earlier this week, from solar radiation coming from sunspots, coming from a coronal mass ejection from the sun. Again, coming through our atmosphere, causing auroras as it passes through our geomagnetic force out there in space that filters not just plasma radiation, but filters rocks and other debris coming from space, entering our atmosphere and hitting their surface. The plasma radiation comes from the sun, comes through our magnetic field, comes through our atmosphere and heats it up, comes over here to the surface of the earth, heats up those faults and the plates, causing the faults and the plates to more freely move like this. Causing the faults to more freely move like this, causing the tectonic plates to more freely move like this. Turns all that gunk and grime, all the dirt, the sand, the rock, all that biological material, turning into an oily, grease-like substance, causing the plates and faults more freely move, causing earth movement, earthquakes. Earthquakes in much of the region are consequences of stresses associated with the motion of the Juan de Fuca fault, the Juan de Fuca plate. Okay? Let me take down these earthquakes right here. Let's go back here to the USGS map for a few minutes. I want to show you what's going on out here off the coastline. I want to show you what's going on out here off the coastline here. That is east of Oak Harbor, Washington, here where the earthquakes are. You don't see any other earthquakes here, but there are earthquakes here. I showed you from the PNSN map. Guys, this is the Puget Sound region. We'll go out here through the Strait of Juan de Fuca out here. Go out here in the Pacific Ocean here. As I've explained this before, there is an earthquake fault, a huge part of the tectonic plate here, called the Cascadia subduction zone. The Cascadia subduction zone runs south from the island of Haida Gwaii here in British Columbia, Canada, runs south from here all the way south to Northern California here. All the way down south to Northern California here. USGS would have us say that nothing's going on here, but there are. There are earthquakes here. Again, we just showed you on the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network map, there are earthquakes coming out here from southern Oregon here into Northern California. Northern California over here towards the volcanoes. Shasta and Lassen here. You see Medford, Oregon here. See Siskiyou National Forest. All that seismic energy comes over here, even upwards to Eugene, Oregon. Towards Eugene, Oregon here. All those minor tremors here came all the way up here to Central Oregon, I shouldn't say northern, Central Oregon here near Eugene. Then after that, they don't show us anything until we get up here to northwestern Washington. Then they show us another 200 plus earthquakes here. The USGS not even showing us at all. Nothing. Nothing. They're not showing us anything off the coast at all. Not a thing. But again, we have the Cascadia megathrust earthquake fault here. The Cascadia fault line. The Cascadia subduction zone here. Off the coast from the Cascadia subduction zone. You see this zigzag fault line here. This zigzag fault line comes off the coast of Haida Gwaii here, Haida Gwaii, British Columbia. It runs south just like the Cascadia subduction zone does. But in this case, it runs further out here into the Pacific Ocean. It's called the Juan, Juan, de Fuca fault. The Juan de Fuca fault. The Juan de Fuca plate. The tectonic plate here. The tectonic plate here. The Juan de Fuca plate comes down here to the south here to what we call the Blanco fracture zone. The Blanco fracture zone. The Blanco fracture zone runs from the northwest here down to the southeast here. Where earlier this week we had a 5.3 large earthquake. 5.3 large earthquake off the Blanco fracture zone west of Bannon, Oregon. The Blanco fracture zone. From the Blanco fracture zone, we have another earthquake fault literally running perpendicular from the Blanco fracture zone down to the Gorda Escarpment. This fault zone here is called the Gorda Plate. The Gorda Plate. Then it connects with the Gorda Escarpment here to the south. The Gorda Escarpment also runs over here in Northern California and connects with the Mendocino Fault. The Mendocino Fault runs eastward into California here. Now, what I've shown you here is where we're going to see the Cascadia earthquake hit. We're going to see the 9.0, 10.0 Cascadia earthquake hit off the coast of Vancouver, British Columbia, and northwestern Washington here. Off the coast of those areas, between the Cascadia subduction zone and the Juan de Fuca plate, right here. The Juan de Fuca plate is subducting underneath the northern part, the western part of the North American plate. The northwestern part of the North American plate. It's subducting underneath the northwestern part of the plate, like this, going up underneath the plate like this. What is that doing? It's moving at about 20 millimeters per year. About 3/4 of an inch per year. Now, guys, 3/4 of an inch per year is a lot of ground that's moved up underneath our North American plate. What is that doing? What is it doing, guys? It's causing a lot of earthquake energy here, seismic energy that's built up here, waiting to pop. Seismic energy here is waiting to pop here, but just not here in the Pacific Northwest. The Pacific plate is also subducting underneath California. So the Pacific plate is subducting underneath California, doing the same thing, causing earthquakes here. Causing earthquakes here in California. Not just in Southern California we talked about yesterday, but all up and down the entire state of California. And the Pacific plate is also pushing on the Juan de Fuca plate. Pushing on the Juan de Fuca plate, causing the plate to move. For the USGS to not show these earthquakes is just impossible. In my mind, it's impossible. They should not be showing us this. They should. They should be showing us this. They have the obligation to show us this. Every one of us, either in Canada or the United States, has an unalienable right to know what's going on. We have the right to know what's going on. It involves our right to live. It involves our right to live, to plan for our own lives, to plan for the lives of our family. They're hiding the information. They're hiding the information, guys. The Juan de Fuca oceanic plate is going into the northeast with respect to the North American plate at a rate of about 22 centimeters per year. Not just millimeters, like I said, but 22 centimeters per year. That's huge. This relative motion, guys, is what is causing all these earthquakes. That's what is causing all these earthquakes. Okay? It's causing the plate to move underneath the North American plate. Causing, guys, mountain building. Causing mountain building like this. As the plate subducts, it's causing mountain building underneath our North American plate. Also causing volcanic action. There is magma down there, guys. Where the plates move, there is magma. You cannot have subduction without magma or volcanoes. You can't have magma or volcanoes without subduction. The movement of the plate is causing pressure on the magma, causing pressure on the mountains, which is going to cause those volcanoes to erupt. Okay? As the Juan de Fuca plate descends into the Earth's mantle below the North American continent, it's putting pressure on the North American plate, which is going to cause that 9.0, 10.0 magnitude earthquake in the Pacific Northwest, which is going to extend from the Cascadia region all the way south to northwestern California, all the way south to Southern California, and down into northern Mexico, down into northern Mexico. Fact. You can count on that happening. You can count on that happening. Okay? That Cascadia subductor zone running from all the way from up near Haida Gwaii, all that energy is held up there. And as I stated before, when we talked about Cascadia, as I said before, there's also seismic energy off of Haida Gwaii as well. There's an earthquake fault right next to Haida Gwaii as well. You can see it. This earthquake fault is also built up with seismic energy here. Similar to what the Cascadia fault zone is going to put out when the Cascadia megathrust earthquake hits. As I said before, this earthquake fault here, west of Haida Gwaii, is going to pop with huge amount of energy. Huge amount of energy. But because the fault is so close to the island here, the inhabitants of Haida Gwaii are not going to have much of a chance to get to higher ground. Higher ground. It's going to cause a huge tsunami here at Haida Gwaii. 75 feet to 150 feet high. Tsunami. The residents and inhabitants of Haida Gwaii Island are going to have only moments, maybe 5 to 7 minutes, to get to higher ground after the earthquake hits. Then the tsunami is going to hit after that. When the Cascadia earthquake hits, it's not just going to echo all the way down to northern Mexico. It's going to echo all the way up here in Alaska. All the way up here in Alaska. When that happens, the Cascadia earthquake, being a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake around Vancouver Island and northern part of Washington, up here in Alaska, Alaska's going to feel an 8.0 plus earthquake. An 8.0 plus earthquake here. They're also going to see a tsunami here as well. Maybe within about 20 to 30 minutes after the earthquake happens here. Maybe 20 to 30 minutes after the earthquake happens here. Because the fault here is far enough off the coast of Alaska. When the energy pops off the fault here, yes, it's going to cause a tsunami here. But the people living along the coast of Alaska are going to have a chance to go to higher ground before the tsunami hits here. As I said earlier, the Cascadia earthquake happened in 1700, January 17th, 1700. Big earthquake causes a tsunami along the coastline of Canada, US, and down in northern Mexico. All around the entire Pacific Basin. All the way around the Ring of Fire. All the way over here into Japan. The next day after the Cascadia earthquake hit, the inhabitants of Japan recorded a tsunami here. They called it a ghost tsunami. 24 hours after the earthquake hit in Washington, Oregon, the tsunami reached here. The people who live here in Japan record the earthquake. That's why we know about the tsunami. They record the tsunami that hit here. The tsunami was probably felt all around the entire Pacific Ring of Fire. After the earthquake quit shaking here, the residents of Vancouver, British Columbia, the island of Vancouver Island, the inhabitants of Washington, Oregon here, you may have about 20 to 30 minutes to get to higher ground here. Before you see a tsunami hit here, that's probably going to be at least 50 foot high to 150 foot high here. That tsunami, folks, is going to be echoed all the way down the Pacific Ocean here, all the way down here into California, northern Mexico, and probably around the entire Pacific Ring of Fire. After the earthquake hits, within a very few minutes, the Cascadia fault line, the Cascadia subduction zone, and the plate of Juan de Fuca is going to echo that seismic energy all the way down south here in Northern California. All the way down south in Northern California, where it's going to trigger the San Andreas Fault. Down here into San Francisco Bay Area. Yes, the entire state of California is going to be hit with energy, large amount of energy. Over here, where the Cascadia earthquake hits, the San Andreas Fault triggers the San Andreas Fault. These people here are going to feel 8.5 to 9.0 energy here. As the seismic energy moves further south, San Francisco is probably going to feel 8.0, 8.3 energy here in the San Francisco Bay Area and trigger all the other seismic faults here throughout the San Francisco Bay Area, causing massive destruction here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Fact. Betty Zoom, who lives in Canada, is saying everybody needs to prepare. Prepare the best you can. I echo that sentiment. Why? Because the Cascadia earthquake could happen any moment. The Cascadia 9.0, 10.0 earthquake could happen at any moment. USGS is saying it could happen within the next 50 years. Next 50 years. If that was the case, why are we seeing so much seismic energy all over Washington and Oregon? Why would we be seeing so much seismic energy all over the states of Oregon and Washington and even California if that Cascadia earthquake isn't very near? I'm asking you guys, why? Why not? By the time the Cascadia earthquake reaches San Francisco, the people here in San Francisco are going to feel an 8.0 to 8.3 earthquake here. It's going to activate the other faults in this region, causing massive destruction and massive hysteria here in Northern California. The energy is going to be carried down the San Andreas Fault here into the interior part of California. Into the interior part of California here. All the way down south here. Santa Cruz, Watsonville here. See Salinas, guys? The San Andreas Fault comes northeast of Salinas here. We have a 2.0 earthquake here in Ridgemark, California, on the San Andreas. Just west of San Andreas here, Tres Pinos here, Monterey Bay here, destruction here, 8.0 energy here, 8.0 major energy here on the San Andreas Fault. Moving south here, the Pinnacles here, still here in Northern California. The Pinnacles here is on the San Andreas Fault here. We also have oil and gas pumping in the Pinnacles region here. Oil and gas pumping out of the earthquake fault here. We have a 1.7 tremor here in the Pinnacles today. The San Andreas Fault continues southbound trek here into Southern California here. In the Southern California here. Cerro Arroyo Grande, San Luis Obispo, all these faults west of the San Andreas. The San Andreas Fault here is going to feel probably a 7.5 or better earthquake. A 7.5 or larger earthquake here. And the faults in this region are also going to be triggered here. The faults in this region are going to be triggered. This is a Huasna Fault. The Huasna Fault Zone. This is the West Huasna Fault. This is a San Luis Range Fault. San Luis Range Fault. Okay? Santa Maria Fault. Santa Maria is right there, along the fault zone. When the Cascadia earthquake reaches this area, all that energy, the 8.0, maybe by the time it reaches here, it might be 7.8, 7.5. That energy is going to also activate these other faults here, which means these areas are also going to be devastated. Then the San Andreas Fault moves into Southern California here. Right here. Yesterday, right here at the Garlic Fault, we had a 2.4 earthquake here in Fraser Park, California, where the San Andreas Fault and the Garlic Fault meet. Fraser Park, California. Southern California. By the time the energy reaches over here east of Los Angeles, they may feel 7.5, 7.2, 7.3 energy here in the Los Angeles area. In the Los Angeles area. Now, guys, if we don't get the Cascadia earthquake before the San Andreas Fault releases its energy here. We've already told you, and USGS has echoed this, there is 6.5 to 7.5 energy loaded up here, loaded and locked on the San Andreas Fault. The Cascadia energy added to that is going to totally devastate this area, totally devastate Southern California, totally devastate California here. Then the San Andreas Fault is going to go carry over here, southeast of Los Angeles, down here into the Imperial Valley, Southern California. Here you see the San Andreas Fault go here east of the Salton Sea here. This whole area is going to be totally devastated. Again, that energy loaded and locked. 7.5 energy here. It's going to totally devastate all of California, all of Southern California. Over here to the west, we have the San Jacinto Fault. The San Jacinto Fault and other ancillary faults all throughout San Diego County. These faults are also going to be activated when that San Andreas Fault pops. These areas that you're seeing right now with tremors and minor earthquakes are going to be totally devastated. San Diego is going to be destroyed. Imperial Valley is also going to be destroyed here. Destroyed. The San Andreas Fault runs right through the center of the Imperial Valley here. You see an earthquake here on the San Andreas Fault here in Broad Lake, California today. Broad Lake, California right here. This is a 1.3 tremor here in Broad Lake, California on the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault also carries forth south into northern Mexico here. The energy here is going to be carried down into northern Mexico as well. It's going to happen, guys. Guaranteed it's going to happen. Yesterday we talked about earthquakes here in Los Angeles area. I showed you areas all over Los Angeles here that have earthquakes. I showed you seismograms from all cities all over Los Angeles that have earthquakes. There are over 400 earthquakes a day here in Los Angeles area, the Los Angeles region of Southern California. Over 400 earthquakes a day here, there. Down here between San Diego and the Imperial Valley here, the San Diego area and the Imperial Valley here, 500 earthquakes a day here in this area. 500 earthquakes a day here in this area. USGS shows us one earthquake in the Imperial Valley and a handful of minor tremors and minor earthquakes here along the Chocolate Mountain Range of San Diego and the Imperial Valley here. This is a 2.0 earthquake here. Then you see a huge swarm of earthquakes here. See a swarm of earthquakes here. One of the larger ones here is a 3.4 earthquake here. Ocotillo Wells, California. 3.4 earthquake here. Guess what? 3.4 earthquake there. This is the 1.2 tremor here. The tensor ball moved from the south to the north here. Ocotillo Well got hit with earthquakes. Ocotillo Wells got hit with earthquakes here. Can you imagine what happens when the Cascadia earthquake hits and activates the San Andreas Fault here? This area is going to be totally overwhelmed with earthquake energy, destroyed. Destroyed, guys. Northeast San Diego County here in Borrego Springs and Borrego Desert State Park. Destroyed. Destroyed. Over here also, I hate to almost even talk about this. This is 1.6 here in Borrego Springs. But further west here, on the San Jacinto Fault, Julian, California. Over a year ago, early 2024, or 2025, 2025, we had a 5.1 earthquake here in Julian. Can you imagine when a 7.4, 7.5 earthquake hits over in the Salton Sea region and echoes all the way through here in the San Jacinto region here, North San Diego County, East San Diego County here, Julian, California, Escondido, California here, Poway, California, south of Escondido where I used to live, Santee Lakeside area where I also used to live here, El Cajon where I still have friends and relatives, family live here, La Mesa, Lemon Grove, Chula Vista, Bonita, California, Imperial Beach, Chula Vista, National City, San Diego City here, including the Marine Corps Air Station, Naval Air Station Miramar to the north, Miramar Recruiting Depot down here, San Diego City, Naval Station San Diego right here, where these piers are. This is Naval Station San Diego. Out here to the northwest, Coronado Naval Air Station right here. Coronado Naval Air Station right here. We have carriers out here, guys. We have carriers that dock here at Coronado, along the piers here in Coronado. Out here we have yachts here. Yachts over here. La Playa here. Sunset Hills here in San Diego County. We have the sub piers here, right here. Point Loma sub piers here. Atomic submarines here, guys. Devastated. This whole area is devastated. The strand here that connects Coronado with Imperial Beach, devastated. Destroyed. Imperial Beach here, destroyed. Tijuana, destroyed. Mexicali, destroyed. Otay Mesa Crossing, destroyed. That's what's going to happen here, guys. That's going to happen. I'm trying to bring it closer to home. I'm trying to bring it closer to home here. As I said yesterday, we talked about Los Angeles region. Right here. Newport Beach here. A 1.5 tremor here in Newport Beach. Guess what, guys? Guess what? I did not show you Anaheim last night. I did not show you the seismogram from Anaheim, where Knott's Berry Farm and Disneyland are. Guess what I'm going to show you right now? Anaheim, California, right here. This is yesterday, actually the night before last at, actually no, this is early this morning. This is July 2nd, early this morning. The top line here is 5 a.m. this morning. Anaheim, California. About 5:10 a.m. this morning. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake this morning in Anaheim. Not felt, just a minor earthquake. But look at all these other minor earthquakes here as well. Look at all these other minor earthquakes here. Then let's look at this earthquake this afternoon. Just after 1:46 this afternoon, Pacific time here in Anaheim, California. That's a 3.0 earthquake right here. That's a 3.0 earthquake. When a 3.0 earthquake or larger hits here in Anaheim, California, they have to stop the rides at Anaheim, Disneyland, and Anaheim, Knott's Berry Farm. Stop the roller coasters and examine the cars and track here on the roller coasters here in Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm. Now, guys, this happened at 1:46 this afternoon. This may have also happened here on this red line here just after 12:16 this afternoon. See this red line here, 12:16 this afternoon? This may have also been a 3.0 earthquake here. Anaheim, California this afternoon. Unreal, guys. My dear friend Sharon Bolem's here in the chat. She's one of our moderators. She just says her brother-in-law lives here in Anaheim, California. She said, wow. These are just small earthquakes, guys. Small earthquakes. Small earthquakes just like they had last night in northern Washington. Small earthquakes just like they had in northern Washington. It was felt all over the area. This earthquake here in Anaheim may have been felt all over the area here. All over the area here. We had at least 2 3.0 earthquakes here today. At least 2 3.0 earthquakes here today. During business hours of the large parks here that people frequent here during the summer. The large entertainment facilities here in Los Angeles. 3.0 energy here. But do you see USGS showing it on the map? Heavens no. Heavens no. USGS doesn't want to show it here. They don't want to show it, but it happened. I just showed you it happened. They're not showing it at all here. Look at Anaheim. They're not showing it here. They're showing you an earthquake up here north of Ontario here. Rancho Cucamonga. 1.0 tremor here, but guess what? What they're not showing you is This is not just a 1.0 tremor here. There are more earthquakes here as well. This is 1.4 tremor here in southern Ontario. But again, there are more earthquakes happen here than they're showing here. They're not being honest with us at all. Not at all. Yes, I'm talking about the worst case scenario here. I'm talking about the worst case scenario here, but guys, this is real. This is about as real as it gets. These earthquakes are going to happen. It's a matter of time. Today I've shown you earthquakes in Washington, Oregon. Earthquakes that USGS is not showing you here. I'm talking about the Cascadia earthquake as well. You need to be aware of it. It's going to hit. Let me just explain something here. When I've talked about a megathrust earthquake, what am I talking about? A Cascadia megathrust earthquake. It's called an interplate quake. It's called an interplate quake here. Why do they call that that? Why do they call that that? This earthquake is going to be right smack dab out here along the Pacific plate and the plate of Juan de Fuca. The Juan de Fuca plate. An interplate quake between the Juan de Fuca plate and the Cascadia subduction zone. A megathrust earthquake along the plate boundary. Along the plate boundary here. That's what we're really talking about. An earthquake along the plate boundary here. A major plate rupture. A major plate rupture here. A rupture between the principal interface between the subducting Juan de Fuca plate and the overriding North American plate. A full plate rupture here. The last great megathrust earthquake in the Cascadia subduction zone region in January 1700. A 1,000 kilometer long rupture. A 1,000 kilometer long rupture. Documented by the North American Indians in the region and some ancient pioneers in this region. This earthquake is also documented by geologists from geologic deposits here that were left by the tsunami, that were also left by the earthquake. We've talked about a great deal about this in the past weeks and months. I'm not going to leave it alone. I'm not going to leave it alone because this earthquake is going to happen. Again, the Cascadia earthquake is going to result in crustal earthquakes as well as I have explained them. The Cascadia earthquake is going to activate the other plates as well, the other faults, causing crustal earthquakes that originates on the fault lines. Some of these earthquakes reflect stresses that are already generated by the convergence of the Juan de Fuca plate and the North American plate. But most are related to the stresses originating from the interaction of the North American plate and the Pacific plate, the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault. 1,000 kilometer rupture. 1,000-kilometer rupture. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. As Sharon asked a few minutes ago, are any of you ready for this earthquake? Is anybody ready for this earthquake to happen? You better be. You better be. Because what we saw yesterday over here, just barely east of Oak Harbor, is going to hit. Any communities, any islands here, any people living on the islands here in the Puget Sound region are going to be pure out of luck. Pure out of luck. As I said in earlier parts of this program, in the past months, new earthquake warnings have come out of the Pacific Northwest. New warnings have also come out of the Ring of Fire, specifically the west coast of North America, British Columbia, Canada, Washington, Oregon, and California. New seismic warnings have come out. We've already had some very strong earthquakes, even major earthquakes around the globe. Major earthquakes over in Venezuela. A very strong earthquake in the Caribbean Sea that was felt and rattled buildings, swayed buildings in southern Florida, Jamaica, and over in New Mexico to the west. We've had a lot of earthquakes up and down the entire coastline of North America and Western Canada. These earthquakes have been hitting, and they're going to get stronger. There's going to be a lot more ground movement. There's going to be a lot more ground movement where the subduction zone hits. In the past week to 2 weeks, we've seen the Philippines and Indonesia also get hit. Right smack dab in the center of the largest subduction area in the world. Right smack dab in the middle of the largest subduction area in the world. Right down here. And yet, the USGS pays it no mind. The USGS doesn't pay it any mind. We've seen large earthquakes hit here. They're going to continue to hit here. I guarantee it. We think the Philippines was devastated. Guess what's going to happen here in Indonesia, down here in Australia, over here in Fiji, the Tongan Samoa Islands, and down here in New Zealand. Look out, guys. Look out. Your time is coming. Out here in the Pacific Ocean, the Central Pacific Ocean, here on the Central Pacific Rise here, off the coast of South America. We had a 4.4 earthquake here. Southern Peru, a 4.8 earthquake here. We had 25 earthquakes in northern Chile. 25 earthquakes in northern Chile. 14 earthquakes in central Chile, stretching into Argentina. Down here south of South America, south of South America. The South Sandwich Islands, we've had 2 large earthquakes here. This is a 5.2 large earthquake. This is another 5.3 large earthquake here in the South Sandwich Islands. There's going to be a lot more than that. This is an aftershock of the 5.2. This is a 5.0 here. 5.0 aftershock. For the east here, on the Antarctic Ridge, this is a 5.2 earthquake here. All 3 earthquakes here are going to travel up the east side, travel up and journey through the Antarctic Ridge here into the southern Pacific Ocean, and travel the central Pacific Ocean here up through the Atlantic Ocean here, through the Mid-Atlantic, the northern Mid-Atlantic, through the North Atlantic here, and further up here into Iceland and Svalbard regions here. Look out, guys. Look out. That's a large amount of seismic energy. And USGS not even showing energy here in Europe. Nothing shown here in Europe at all. Nothing in Scandinavia. 3 earthquakes hit here in Sweden here today. 1 earthquake hit in southern Norway. Go figure. Go figure. Down here in Greece. Down here in the Aegean Sea here. The Dokinis Islands here in Greece. Down here, I believe this is not even the Aegean Sea. This is the Eastern Mediterranean Sea here. Another large earthquake. A 5.2 earthquake here near the Dokinis Islands here in the Eastern Mediterranean here. Eastern Med here. This earthquake was 23 kilometers, about 14 to 15 miles southeast of Carpathos, Greece. Carpathos, Greece here. Carpathos Island is a tourist destination here in the Dokinis Islands. The people here on the Carpathos Island felt this earthquake. They felt this 5.2 earthquake here in Greece. Okay? Look out, guys. A large to major earthquake is coming to a place near you. A large to major earthquake is coming to a place near you very, very soon. This week we've talked about the New Madrid Fault. We've talked about earthquakes here on the East Coast. We've talked about earthquakes here in Southern California, Northern California, and the Pacific Northwest. We talked about earthquakes in Venezuela. It's coming to a place near you. Fact. Now I'm going to ask you a question. What are you going to do about it? What are you as people going to do about it? Are you going to just sit and let it happen? Or are you going to prepare for this happening? Miss Elise is here in the chat. Just left us a message in the chat. Elise, thank you for being here. Here in the chat, she says, it's a mentality, it will never happen to me. You're right. It is a mentality. But what I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to happen. it is going to happen to you. Not necessarily Elise here, but it's going to happen to all of us. All of us, guys. We all are going to see it happen. We are all going to see it happen. Guaranteed. What I've talked to you about with you tonight is real. It is very real. Guys, get ready. Get ready, get prepared. Write your emergency preparedness plans. Write them now. Tomorrow we're going to come back on the air about 4:30 with another episode of this program. Tomorrow we're going to talk about earthquakes in Venezuela. We're going to talk about earthquakes around the world. And we're going to talk about preparedness, emergency preparedness on Fridays. Preparedness Fridays. Guys, if you've been here in our program here, please subscribe to our program. Please subscribe to our program. When you do that, right next to your subscription button, you're going to see another icon, a little bell icon. Click on that. When you click on that icon, you're going to see a drop-down menu of 3 items come up. Click on the word ALL, all. When you click on that, you're going to get notified when they come on the air. They come on the air between 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Join us here tomorrow with another episode of our program where we're going to talk about preparedness. Write your preparedness plans. Get your preparedness kits ready. Your food, your medical kits, your medicine, your water, and your clothing. Get all of them ready right now, immediately. Immediately, guys. Because what you're about to experience is going to be real. It's going to be real, guys. It's going to be very real. Ignorance is no excuse. Arnold Smith is in my chat today. Arnold, I love you, brother. Arnold and I have been friends for years here. He's saying pure ignorance and normalcy bias. They wager past their experiences and feel that judging from their past experiences, nothing's going to change. Common behavior from the foolish. Let's vote in. I agree, Arnold. Let's vote in. Let's get our preparedness up to date. Let's do it now. Write your plans immediately. If you don't have an emergency preparedness plan ready, go back through our previous programs here. This program during the last 4 years. During the last 3 years. When you see the word preparedness, go back and watch that program. When you see the word emergency kits, go back and watch that program. When you see preparedness, watch that program as well. You're going to get a great deal of information from those programs. Tomorrow is going to be another program talking about emergencies and preparedness. Be there, don't be square. Be there to watch that program. You're going to have a lot of information there, I promise. Miss Heather's in the program. It's been a while. Is Oregon not reporting EDs? No, they're not. I'm watching the West Coast. You need to watch that West Coast, guys. Miss Heather, I talked about earthquakes on the West Coast today. I've talked about earthquakes on the West Coast today. USGS is not reporting hardly anything going on in Oregon or Washington. Today, they're not reporting anything in Oregon. I proved that wrong. I showed you 2 seismograms earlier today showing earthquakes in Oregon. Earthquakes in Oregon. Not at the volcanoes, but around Oregon. They're happening. USGS is lying to the public. Completely lying to the public. Now, before you go here, I see some people pulling out of this program already. Before you go, I'm not done here. Stick around for our devotional here. At the end of our program, I give you a devotional here. Today's devotional comes from Psalms 139, verses 11 and 12, and John chapter 1, verse 5, and Psalm 73, verses 23 and 24. Guys, I've told you how precious Jesus is to me. Each of us should hold Jesus very precious, each one of us. If you have not already, you need to find Jesus Christ in your life. You need to study the scriptures and pray. Find your own testimony of Jesus Christ. In some of the hardest places in my life, I realized Jesus Christ was there for me. He's also there for you. Our Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ have answered my prayers. They've answered my prayers with even heartfelt joy when I've been my lowest. I know Jesus Christ. I know who He is. He's our Savior, my Lord and my King, as well as your Lord and your King. He wants us to learn. He wants to teach us. Our problems are not just our problems. They're His problems as well, that He wants to help us solve. His loving presence in our lives, or even to a greater depth, our breath, our own breath. When I'm troubled by thoughts or hurtful experiences in my past, I remember Jesus Christ in my own life, how He's lifted me up. In my worst parts of my life, He has lifted me up. We need to look to Him. We need to look to Him in some of the most painful memories of our lives. He's inviting us. He's inviting us to have divine guidance from Him. He's going to reveal to us His glory in our broken places. He's going to collaborate with you and me, putting the fragments of our life back together, but not in old ways, but in new ways, making us better people, making us new people, new servants in His kingdom. When I'm walking through tough times, even in the last few weeks, as pains in my body continue to take over my body, I pray many times, day and night, to feel Him in my life and lift me up. To help me cope with my pains in my body. To help me cope with life in general. To help Carol and I grow. This light of Christ is here for you. It's here for you, brothers and sisters. The light of Christ is here for you, blessing you with abundance. Through the Holy Ghost, He provides us with comfort and ultimate guidance, the divine guidance from heaven, illuminating the way forward step by step. As I seek to walk close to Him, I ask Christ to draw closer to me and to each one of you in a richer intimacy with you and me. Brothers and sisters that are still here, at the end of every program, I give you a devotional. So we have the opportunity to draw closer to Jesus Christ and our Heavenly Father. If you already don't know Jesus Christ, find him in your life. Find Jesus Christ, our Lord, in your life. And I promise you will be blessed for that. As I leave you this evening, I leave my blessings on your heads, on each one of you and your families. May each one of us be blessed and sanctified by the Lord's Spirit. Study and pray. Find divine guidance from heaven in your own life. I know it's there. I've seen it in mine, and I've seen it in most of yours. Subscribe to our program. Get notified when we come on the air. And please, guys, at the bottom of your screen here, you see our PayPal address is scrolling through here. Please donate there to our PayPal to help keep this program in the air. Our bandwidth to keep this program in the air has gone more expensive even now. Before now, it was $258 a month. Now it's $300. Cost me $300 a month to stay on the air. We need your help. Donate to our program. Also here, tonight on the chat, I've not seen one super chat here. Guys, you can also donate through super chats here to help support this program. May God bless you. May God be with you. Please help us, guys. Please help us. You also see our physical address scrolling across on your screen. Our postal box, 504 Bethel Road, Box 401. Morganton, North Carolina. Zip code here is 28655. You can send us letters and cards. Inside your letter card, you can tell us how you're doing, what you're doing to prepare for emergencies and disasters in your lives. We'd love to know. We'd love to help you. Inside your card or letter, you can also stick a check or a cash. Send it to us to help support this program. We'd appreciate that very much as well. I want to thank those of you that have already done that. We appreciate it so much. May God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. May God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side, brothers and sisters. Have a good night. God bless you. We'll see you on the other side. Good night. Take care. Enjoy. And be safe. See you tomorrow.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard, So thank you for watching, and thank you you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better. Bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. God bless. We'll see you on the other side.